Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Rhymes with Play. I'm Peter. I'm a dev here on Don't Starve Together. I'm sure some of you guys know me. Some of you probably don't because I haven't been on stream in probably about 3 years. I'm also going to be joined by Zark Lord, Zach, today. Zach, are you there?
Hello?
Hello. There you
Yes,
are.
I am.
Did you finish your dinner in time?
I did.
Okay. We had the countdown timer running, and Zach was muted while the stream was going. So I was like, all right, let's let's get this going. There
Gotta
was
rush. No.
there was a question about, are there drops? I believe we have drops enabled for the channel. I don't have the channel up, but someone can probably tell in chat if that's the case or not. Yeah, so today's
But they should be.
it should be. I mean, I set it up yesterday. I think it was working. Yeah. Oh, I love this idea in chat from Dr. Medic 25. Please make it so you can click on the balloons and and plop them. I assume he means like here in the menu, you just go around and click on them all and they
Yeah.
pop. I really wanted to add that once we were.
That's the,
Yeah, go ahead.
that was my instinct with it as well, is I want to be able to pop them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something when we did this the menu refresh for this update. It was just like, do we have time to make the whole menu interactive? That would have been amazing, but it didn't quite fit into the schedule. But yeah, I think Scott and Phil worked on the new menu. Scott worked on kind of the tech for it and the new message of the day system on the bottom there, and Phil animated all the balloons. It was great. When we were initially getting the first, I guess, prototype of it, it was like, oh no, is that going to be too much stuff? But it looks great. They did an awesome job on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today's stream, we're going to be talking about Zark Lord's interview at Klei. Oh no, just kidding. We're going to be showing off Wes.
Don't do that to me, please.
We're going to go over all the questions you got wrong. What? It says the drops apparently aren't enabled. I'll get Jen to check on that. Yeah, no, but today's stream, we're going to be showing off Wes, the April 1st update, the new update for The Fool, as you can see here on the main screen. We've got a bunch of concept art to show. We're going to show off the trailer as well. We'll show off all the new skins that were added, and then we'll hop in game and play a little bit of Don't Starve. If people have questions, throw them up in the chat.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, if people have questions, throw them up in the chat. Oh, I've got a question here from... Oh, turns out drops weren't enabled because we never added ourselves to the list. Joe just added us to the list, and it should be all good. I think when I was testing the other day, I was testing it on my private account, and I had already tested with my private account in the development stage, so I was already on the list. Cool. We're invited to our own party now.
All right, cool.
It should be working. It might take like 5 minutes for it to refresh. Yeah, hopefully that just turns on automatically. I think it does. Hopefully we don't have to stop and restart the stream. It's working now. People say, great, that's awesome. Yeah, Klei forgetting to give themselves drops. Yeah. There's a question there about what was the idea for the Wes animation. I can't remember. I mean, Wes and his balloons, we just wanted to just go nuts with balloons. And I think the idea of like, Wes doing the mime action of like, I'm stuck behind a wall was kind of the classic mime. I don't know what you call it. That's just something mimes do. And they were thinking, like, what if he's in a balloon?
Yeah.
That would be great, even because then he's not actually miming. He's really stuck in the balloon. So it's slightly ironic that he's miming the invisible wall when it's like, no, there's actually just a balloon there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's while we wait for more people to join in, we'll just start playing the trailer. And we're back. So I hope you guys enjoyed that trailer. I think that is probably my favorite so far. What do you think, Zach? What's your favorite trailer up to this point?
It's it's up there, but I think I gotta put mine on the Forgotten Knowledge trailer with them going through
Okay.
the gosh, I'm blanking the library place.
The library
Cannot
place.
remember the name of that now.
I'm going to
It's
defer from saying as well
good
because
one.
I always get everything wrong. Yeah, no, I like that this one was a fair amount longer than some of the previous ones. So it felt
Yeah.
like there was like more kind of almost like character and story development in there. And there's a lot of just, like little nuggets in it. They're like, oh, I didn't realize that initially.
Yeah, I definitely picked up some stuff like when I watched it again or the third time that I'm like, oh yeah, hey, look, that happens. Or, there's a lot of detail in that trailer.
On this watch through, what I actually saw that I hadn't really noticed before was the little doll reminded me of the ginger pigs, the ones that run away from you and leave
Oh,
the trail of crumbs. I'm like, oh, someone's got to mod that in, that the doll is just the ginger pig running around.
that'd be good.
Yeah, I saw someone had a question about the pantomimes, the golden items. There is the pantomime versions of the gold tools as well, but not all. You don't get all of the items in the empty chest. The empty chest, while it's full of nothing, isn't entirely full of nothing. It came with 5 of the
Yeah,
skins, and then so it was random.
there's 10, I think
Yeah,
we have.
I think there's 10. Looking at possibly adding some more, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't see any other where we won't be able to see other characters. Yeah, so view more. Yeah, so when your character is holding the pantomime skins, well, actually, we'll show those in game later. So,
Yeah, that'll work.
yeah. Up next, we have a bunch of concepts, which people always love. Oh, actually, before we move on to that, Zach is here as well. Zach, and we got before the stream. I grabbed May and I was like, "Hey, May, we need you to do a little animation work." So we got we got Zach to be able to talk. So
Yeah, if I talk now, he can make it play.
Yeah. You've been. Yeah. Anyways, Zach, you've been with Klei for about 6 months now. I can't remember.
I think this will be my 7th month now.
Okay. It's
Because I joined in early August.
it feels like it's been forever that you've been with us,
It
but
does. It does. Time moves so fast.
yeah, time moves in all sorts of crazy dimensions these days. All right, so let's take a look at some of the concepts. Oh, we're looking at the last of the list because I had it on the test from before. Okay, yeah. So these are so when we were doing the West update and we were trying to figure out what would work with Wes and what he was like for whatever the new items he'd have would be. Kelly went and designed and kind of did a bunch of prototypes of different hats he could wear. Apparently, so the part of the problem with the shape of his head is that making the hat just go around his head caused problems. It's always interesting the way like the technical constraints in our animation system that the artist will come up with an idea and then it's like, okay, now how do we actually make that work with all of our characters and all of the skins and all of the different angles?
Yeah, it's not just as simple as coming up with a concept and drawing it and boom, it's in game. We have to make sure that it looks good on all like 18 characters we have now, or I can't even remember the number anymore. We have a lot of characters.
I think it's 17. Yeah, I think it's 17.
17. Okay,
Yeah.
17 or 8. I couldn't never remember. But yeah, there's a lot of characters, and we have to make sure it looks good on all of them and looks right, and there's no visual bugs and stuff. So it's not just a simple draw it, boom, it's in the game, done.
Let's go on to the next concept here. So this is Steph's work. So Steph hopped on to help out with the West concepting as well. So there was part of the design was to call out for like kind of the party balloon, and like there's all sorts of different types of like party balloons. Like you have balloons and balloons, and or just one balloon in a bigger balloon, or confetti in the balloon. And then I guess in the earlier phases as well, we were trying to figure out like, oh, are there going to be like balloon weapons? So there was kind of a whole bunch of different balloon swords that were. I like I guess the third one here, the sort of like rabbit under the rabbit, looks almost like a big lollipop.
Yeah.
And then some other, I guess the other hat designs there as well, as far as like, oh, will there be hats that look like specific creatures? And then obviously,
it would have been cool, but there's a lot of technical limitations for these, which is part of the reason they weren't chosen.
Yeah, let's go on to number 3 here. So this was the one of the concepts for the custom idol. So as we've been doing the refreshes, we've been adding character-specific idol animations to kind of bring out some of their character when you're just idling. The balloon one, it's funny because like this might be the first idol that has quite a bit of sound to it. I don't think the other idols have much sound. And so when the balloon pops in this new idol animation, I'm always like, oh, what was that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It can be scary if you're not paying attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dr. Medic 25. Imagine that actually does damage. That would make West ultra hard mode. You can't idle, otherwise you slowly take you take a little bit of damage. That would be awesome.
I think we have it do 10 damage when it pops on you. So
okay.
If that idol played 7 times or something, you'd die.
You gotta keep moving. It's like movie speed. Like the bus has got to keep moving. All right, let's go on to the next one here. So this is the, it looks like jazz hands, but it's actually the silent applause in sign language. I assume it's American sign language. I'm not sure.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that one too much.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones that like is randomly played from that list of like when you try and talk with him and he does the mime animations.
Oh, okay.
I think that's one of those. So that's why you don't see it as often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this was, I think, so this is the mime elevator. I think this one ended up being difficult to like, how do we actually shrink Wes into the ground without just making like the symbols pop off? there's some sort of technical limitations, and then it also just seemed a bit weird, where it's like, what is it?
Yeah.
Does it read right as him going down an elevator, or is it just people look like he was just disappearing into the ground? It was a
Yeah,
fun one.
he's not a he's not a super powered mime.
Yeah, he can't actually disappear. Let's take a look at the next one. Wes driving. The Steph sent me some of the comment or some of the notes about all the concepts. She was saying she was thinking that if Wes ever drove an automobile, he'd probably be really road ragey and make wild hand gestures.
Yeah.
So like the expression on his face was just being like, what's with this traffic? What car brand
Yeah, I
is
can
this?
imagine Wes getting annoyed at all the traffic.
Yep. Balloon car. Yeah, that would work. All right, let's move on to the next one. Whoops. This was the Wes Happy Sad. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of comments of just being like, he's got to go from happy and then the face swipe down to sad. Sort of kind of classic mime tricks.
Yeah.
So this is the look animation. Apparently it was repurposed from the Hermit Crab Lady. I guess they're starting to run out of time, and then sometimes with all sorts of development, sometimes you got to kind of cut corners and reuse assets where it makes sense. Like there's plenty of cases where we've just taken stuff and gone, oh, okay, well if I just change this a little bit and rework how it is, or flip it around, or apply that animation to a different build, it looks like something new all over again.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy how often if you don't pay attention it happens, and if you look closely you can go, I think that's the same thing as something else, and you start looking and you see it all over the place.
And then our last concept. So the idea of was the pushing on the box thing. It was just like, okay, well, what if he's actually like pushing on a wall and is kind of more really actually stuck? Jen, the writer, was apparently kind of came up with the original sketch for that concept, for this concept that then Steph animated. I don't think I have that one though. I like his the initial.
Definitely is very mime-like.
Yeah, I like the start of the the start of it where he's just like full eager force into the, I'm gonna throw my weight at this wall, and then just I'm stuck.
Yep.
All right, so those were all the concepts. Is there anything you guys are wanting to see that hopefully the concepts will actually, the one concept that we don't have to show is for all of the pantomime skins. That came up purely out of just a, hey, what if there's nothing there? Can the skins just be nothing? And I think Jen came up with that concept, and it was about halfway through development of the West update, and we're like, well, yeah, like that totally makes sense. Like we can hide symbols on the character, we can just have nothing there. And then like, is that going to work? And so we had a couple of ideas originally of like, well, does the character hold the outlined version, or what if it gets dropped on the ground and then you can't see it? Like, well, we still need to be able to see it, otherwise people would just litter their world with items and they'd
lose all their tools.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's hop in the game and we can show off some of the actual new content. Oh, actually, I guess in the short term, in the meantime, we can. Oh, I'm trying to play through the OBS window, not the actual game. There we go. I gotta click on the right window here. Actually, I clicked on item collection and nothing was happening. I'm like, I don't understand. Yeah. So for this update, Wes got all of his old skins promoted up to be woven versions, and the new skin we added this update for Wes was the Fool to go along with the Fools collection that we started last April Fools. Yeah, I think Lyra mostly worked on this design, and Matt helped out doing builds as well. And then the body skin as well also comes with the Fools ensemble. As
Yeah,
part, yeah, as part of
this is a really good skin. This is one of Wes's best skins. Just so good.
yeah, the way Wes, unfortunately, because he's a his waistline is more narrow than a lot of the other characters. We typically have to include all of the both the torso and the legs of the skin all in one body piece, because they're not wide enough to be modular with the kind of standard Wilson waist width. So that's why if people are ever wondering, like, hey, how come like with these skins here, like how come the Evening Tower wasn't two different pieces? Why is it all one? That is why is the modular waist to be able to work with pants doesn't quite work. the So the other skins we added for this update, as we've been doing with most of the updates, is adding in a pack of skins that sort of go along with the character, with the theme of the new character. So we had a whole bunch of Fool's Collection items. So we've got the top hat, which also for the elegant versions of the skins, the top hat also is a prestidigitator skin, so that transfers over. So when you craft a prestidigitator, if you have the Fool's Hat, well, if you own the Fool's Hat skin, you can also apply it there. There's the walking cane. Um, Walking canes are always fun. We've historically always added like particle effects or prefab, like animated flash effects to all of our walking cane skins. So anytime we do a new walking cane skin, it's like, ooh, I get to do some sort of art and make some some particle effect stuff.
Yeah, something fancy to make the skin pop.
Yeah, because otherwise the cane's a little bit boring on its own. We started it quite a ways back, and so we're just kind of always just continued with that for the canes.
Yeah.
And then we also added a pan flute skin. This one was actually kind of fun because the pan flute, the way it's animated, the pan flute's like the wide set of tubes, but obviously the flute is kind of a longer instrument that you would kind of play a bit differently. And so Layra did a good job kind of getting the pan flute lined up such that the animation of the playing the pan flute actually works. There was a question from
it's really neat getting those two working. So different.
There's a question about, does the pan flute have a new sound effect? It doesn't have a new sound effect, unfortunately. That one was just, it was left on the cutting room floor, didn't have time to make it into the update.
We have a question from Nightmare Fuel fan that says, "What was the Fool skin inspired by?" If we know.
I believe it's just the kind of a court jester sort of a vibe, I guess. I think in a lot of like medieval courts, the jester would also be known as like the fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like originally it was like the Harlequin. It was the original name of the skin. We renamed the concept to go kind of with more with the April Fool's update and the fool being sort of the jester thing. The skins are all like named like internally underscore Harlequin, but so if you guys go and look at the internal names of the files, quite often you'll see the names of the names of the skins are a little bit different than what we actually end up with the final name that you see in game.
Yeah.
So like the all of the guest of honor skins, those are internally named formal because we didn't have a name at the time, and it was like, well, we got to name it something while we're working on it. Oh yeah, Layra is there in the chat, giving some more information about. She tried to add as much of the French Harlequin look as possible, but I realized I needed to reincorporate some of the more traditional contemporary gesture things to make it read better. Right.
So there you go.
Oh, I guess one other thing, we can show off is the various new. Oh, actually, let's do it properly. We'll just go into the treasury and open up the empty chest. So people who log in during this month between now and the next update will receive the empty chest. There appears to be nothing in this chest at all. Ooh, pantomime pitchfork. So Clearly, there's just the outline of something that would be there. It's very, very nothing. Ooh, I got the axe.
These skins definitely have the most comedy factor to them, especially if you're seeing them for the first time
Yeah.
and you don't know that they're coming. Watching some of the streamers open these chests was hilarious, as they just did not know what to expect from
Yeah,
it.
it was just like, are they really just going to give us an empty chest? What is this going to be? And then,
Yeah,
even better, this mime version of an axe pops out.
yeah,
This was actually kind of funny when we were thinking, we were like, well, if we just make the base tools, people are going to complain. They want the luxurious like golden versions of the skins as well. And it's like, well, how do we distinguish the look of something when it's invisible? So it was like, okay, well, I guess for the outline that we're going to have anyways, we'll go with the gold outline.
yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so there's 10.
Oh, you got 2 gold tools.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Oh, wait, no, you got 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was all the stuff to show in the menu. Oh, we also updated the compendium.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead,
yeah.
Zach. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
I was going to say, there's also there's 10 total pantomime skins, and the other 5 that you didn't get from your empty chest, you can go weave them in the
The item collection screen in
the
the
name.
in the
The
belonging.
item collection screen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty cheap. I think they're 45 spools, so you should be able to get the ones you want pretty quickly, easily.
Yeah, the made them cheap enough that we could give away a whole bunch, but then not so we didn't give away so many that it would take people forever to open them all. So, and we found at Christmas time when we had a with the ugly sweater skins, it was a bit more fun for people to get a slightly randomized group. So it was like, oh, like what did you get? Oh, those are the ones I got. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Wes. Yeah, so Wes has been updated. The play animated short now link now takes you to the new trailer on YouTube. Yeah, there's been a bunch of changes to Wes, obviously, as with his refresh. We'll probably get to those more in detail in game. We can talk about them, but obviously here, the Wes's stats are different. I don't actually remember what the original stats are, but now Wes is now the lowest statted character in the game.
Yep.
And the character bio has been. Sorry, what was that, Zach?
I was just gonna say, so the intention behind it is if like you're new to the game, you'll look at him and it'll be obvious that he's the hardest character in the game when if you take any glance at it, because sometimes people don't realize that Wes is supposed to be this hard character that is not supposed to be easy, and probably you shouldn't play him if you're just starting out.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Yeah, so there's this new bio there. I was requested to read it, so I'm going to see if I can read through this whole thing without flubbing my words. So here we go. Despite a life plagued by terrible luck, Wes has never been one to utter so much as a word of complaint. Rather than dwell on his own troubles, he has instead dedicated his life to making others smile, even if it's at his own expense. His journey to the continent itself was nothing if not a tragic comedy of errors. After a series of snowballing missteps, Wes found himself accidentally taking the place of a stranger caught in the grip of a shadowy portal bound for the constant. His unexpected arrival infuriated the Nightmare King, who quickly I screwed it up. Who quickly exacted his vengeance on the poor mime for interfering with his plans. Wes was banished to his own private prison, far from sight, where he would remain until he was rescued by the Constant's other survivors. Being the kind soul that he is, Wes holds no grudge against Maxwell, though he does continue to give him the silent treatment. Oh. Had Wes known what fate awaited him on his last day on Earth, he likely wouldn't have done anything differently. In truth, there is part of him that is happy to be in the Constant with the other survivors, for who could be in greater need of cheering up than those poor souls?
Bravo,
yeah.
Bravo.
Only a couple flubs. When someone mentioned reading that out the other day, I was like, oh, this is going to be just like back in high school, having to read in front of the class and being like, oh, no.
Every mistake magnified.
Yep. Cool, yeah. So let's hop in game and take a look at Wes. So I'm gonna turn PvP on, Zach, because I think the red cap thing, I want to test that with you while we're here.
All right.
Oh, I see in the chat, idea invisible wormhole skin. Oh no. It's bringing back terrible.
Yeah, that would be funny,
You just
but I'm not
click
sure
on the
that
ground.
works well.
What happened? It reminds me of the bug we had with the werebeaver. There was the invisible werebeaver bug that was caused by some issues with Woody and the way the skinning system worked. For the longest time, we kept having these really rare bugs where Woody would just go invisible.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
I'm almost certainly probably talked to you in the past before you worked at Klei about that bug.
I think I probably brought it up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like you were probably like, "Hey, what's the deal with this?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." All right, yeah. So let's take a look at West. Oh, it's almost nighttime. All right. Well, I'm gonna
Oh
just.
no.
Well, it's okay. You spawned there, so we got a little bit of light. Yeah. So Scott was the primary developer on the West update, I believe. So most of this stuff I'm reading off of his notes. So you have to excuse me for any confusion I have about what's actually changed to West here. So with the balloons, you no longer right-click on them to use them. So this is like kind of the main change around West is that there's a Balloonomancy tab. So this allows you to access all of the different kinds of balloons that West can build.
Yep.
So there's the standard balloon as before, and one thing we've changed is that there's no longer the 100 balloon limit. So you can just keep filling balloons up to your heart's content. Obviously, at some point, the server will probably blow up, or you'll have trouble dealing with your with your zero sanity. But obviously, skilled players can deal with zero sanity. Yeah, so we added a bunch of new creatures as well. So the hound, merm, bunny, and tentacle are all new balloon shapes. Let's see here. Oh, there's the butterfly. Was that a new one? I thought the butterfly was
The
new.
hound.
Oh, there's the
Yeah,
hound.
butterfly's new.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we missed that one on the notes. Um, oh, there's the merm
At
in the
least I'm
back
pretty
there.
sure butterfly's new.
And let's get a tentacle as well.
Yeah.
Come on, where is tentacle? Come on. Oh, jeez. I am totally going to die in this game. Are you going to save me, Zach?
I mean, I don't have anything right now.
Save
I can't help
me.
you here.
I'm trying to resort from using God mode. Uh-oh.
I think for the demonstration's purposes here, while we are getting these balloons, we need to.
Super God mode. Here we go. All right. Yeah, so there's a bunch of new balloons. You can go craft them if you want to see them all. The RNG is not cooperating with us.
It's really not.
Question from Blackness Monster: do balloons still despawn over time? I don't think so. I would be surprised. Like when I talked to Scott about it, he was sort of like, "Yep, no, just make as many balloons as you want. If your server starts to fall over, then stop making so many balloons." Basically.
Oh, well, that's.
Oh no! What happened to you? All right.
Oh, I'm not here at the end of this. I am not here at the end of this.
Oh, well, it's just amulet, isn't it? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we are. Cool.
Let's take a look at the other balloons. Yeah, so speedy balloon. The speedy balloon is loads of fun. This is probably my favorite addition to West is the speedy balloon.
Yeah.
Let's make it daytime again. Cool. Yeah. So the speedy balloon. It's a light kind of. Actually, what was it called again? Oh, it's called speedy balloon. Yeah. Basically, it makes you weigh less, so you can run around faster. Oh, I did a long update, so my balloon kind of went down to nothing. So it's just a regular balloon now. Let me make another one so I can show you guys. Yeah. So while the balloon is in its big, fully big wheel shaped, I guess you would call it. as your ability kind of slowly goes down, as balloons typically do, like they slowly deflate. While it's full size, you get to run sort of 35% faster. I think that's what the number of scalp saying. No, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it's 30% faster. I think is
30?
what it is when it's at full size.
Okay. And then 25% down the next one, and then so and so forth. As with any balloon that's full of helium, that's going to make you float away. When you drop it, it's like, oh no, come back! Oh, I lost my balloon. So, have you ever lost a balloon up in the air like that, Zach?
Many times. I know the feeling. It's a tragic and sad story.
What I want to know is, where does the helium come from when Wes is blowing these floaty balloons up? So people are
we will never know.
Take it to the forums.
Wes is not telling his secret.
Yeah, take it to the forums. I want to hear your theories. I'm just proposing the question. That's all. Let's take a look at the next one. I think that was all the information about the speedy balloon. Yeah, so the party balloon. As one of the concepts from before, we saw a bit of the party balloon. The party balloon here is so basically it's kind of a sanity booster. So if you get all your friends around, make some party balloons. Obviously, it takes sanity to craft a balloon. But if you pop these guys, you come by, and then your sanity goes up. I'm in super god mode at the moment, so my sanity is not going up, but we should have crafted that for Zark Lord before he died to that Cerebeak. Okay, let's take a look at the next item in the Balloonomancy tab. All right, we got the inflatable vest. That's sweet armor. Oh yeah, love it. I'm like, what? We should zoom in and take a look at these. Yeah, so the inflatable vest is sort of like it does what it sort of sounds like. If you fall in the water, you're gonna be okay. Well, you're not gonna be okay. You're still gonna still gonna get washed up on shore. I believe you'll still lose half your items, but you don't suffer any of the stat loss from falling in the water.
Yeah. So normally you lose, like, I think it's like a small health amount of your max health you lose, and that doesn't happen when you.
How do we hop off of this thing? Wait a minute. What's going on here?
To mount it. So you have to mount it.
Oh, you have to mount it first.
Jump off.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, there we are.
We trust us. We know what we're doing. Yeah, so you can see I didn't lose any of my stats. I can't remember what I had in my inventory, but this same thing happens there. Okay, and let's take a look at the next item. Oh, I lost my balloons. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What are those called? This what, pile balloons? Balloon? Oh no.
They're both stuck in the ocean.
Do you know what those balloon prefab is called? Someone help me with balloons. Come on.
No.
Aww. Here, see, I'll just craft it the real way. Okay, with water balloon. All right, and then I'll craft it. There we go.
Hornet says it's balloons _empty.
Oh, of course. There we go. All right. Well, I got it back anyways. Oh, I'm freezing. Am I not? Oh, I bet I'm not super god mode after.
Yeah, we're freezing because we're more susceptible to.
That's right. That is one of Wes's updates to the character. Is Wes is now more susceptible to freezing and more susceptible to overheating. I don't know the exact specifics of the implementation, but basically getting too hot and getting too cold is now going to be a concern for Wes. Yeah, let's take a look at the balloon hat. There we go. Oh, actually, I'm like, are there different versions of the balloon hat?
I'm pretty sure it's just the one.
It's just that one? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure after we had all those different prototypes or concepts.
Yeah, no, we only have the one balloon hat.
Yeah, so the balloon has a little bit of sanity over time, some rain protection, um, and actually, the one other thing that's a little bit fun is the if you're wearing all these vests and you get attacked, let's get a frog in here.
I attacked you and I didn't do it.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm super god mode. That's why.
Oh.
Ah, they pop. There we go. I'll let you deal with that. Yeah. So,
Oh no.
so when the balloons pop, they've got. Oh, do you need some light? You got the light. Cool. You know what you're doing. Yeah. So when the balloons pop, they do a little bit of AOE damage to everyone around them. I think including Wes as well. If I believe that's
No, I think
correct.
it's only West.
Oh, is it only Wes? It doesn't.
Only West, I'm
It
pretty
doesn't.
sure.
It's not like Thorns that reflects some damage back.
I believe it is only West.
Oh, okay.
That's what I remember being said.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, as we mentioned before, Wes now has the lowest stats of all the survivors. As you're saying, sort of saying like that's yep. Wes is now very more a bit more clear from when you're selecting a character. This the smallest number is probably going to be harder. Obviously, we've always had
Yeah, exactly.
or for a while, we've had the chances of survival, I believe it's called, like the difficulty measure in the character selection. I think his chances were always none or slim or something like that. I can't remember the exact terminology we used. But this is
I think West has none.
right. But this is makes it especially more clear of this is you have very little health, very little sanity, very little stomach. One of the bigger changes that we did for Wes is with regards to how hounds work. So what we wanted to do with Wes overall was make the game harder for Wes, but not be a detriment to other players. So with Wes's his increased hunger previously, it was sort of a detriment to other players where a Wes player joining your server would just be consuming kind of more than their fair share of calories. So the way it works now is that Wes no longer has that extra hunger gain, and so as with the trailer, like Wes is supposed to be a good thing for other players, but life is always hard for Wes. So with the hounds, when a Wes is on the server and a hound wave starts, the hounds will be taken away from other players and allocated to attack Wes. So Wes is unlucky. The hounds are just going to come after him.
Yeah.
We had a whole bunch of different kind of concepts of how that was going to work as far as like, oh, what if there's multiple Wes's on the server? How does that work? And I think the way we made it is I'm trying to remember the exact kind of math behind it, but
I believe he can take like a maximum of 4 extra hounds. I cannot remember the exacts, but like at the start, I think it's like you'll generally get about 4 hounds, and if there's a Wes on the server, the other players will generally get it's 3 hounds, I believe, and Wes will end up with about 7.
right.
Obviously, it depends somewhat on player counts
Yeah.
and other various things, but in general, Wes will have a lot of hounds on him, and the other players will have very few.
Yeah. I remember Scott going through all the calculations, being like, okay, well, what if it's 3 Wes's and 2 Wendy's? What should that look like? And then trying to figure out the formula that's going to work for all the different scenarios of single Wes, lots of players, a couple players, and lots of Wes's. Yeah, let's take a look at the other changes. The higher chance of being struck by lightning. Wes is just unlucky, so he's got to have 30% is Wilson's, I guess, chance for being struck by lightning. Wes is double that at 60% now, and then WX is way up at 90.
WX is 90.
I believe it's 90. Yeah. One thing that we also changed to make life a bit harder for Wes, because Wes is a poor little guy. He's kind of a little bit weak. He's going to take longer to chop trees down in mine. So I can't remember the exact slowness of it. I think it was about 20% slower.
75%, or he does 75% of the use of a normal character. So I think okay. So takes 33% more uses.
Right. Okay.
Because that's how that math works.
But at the same time, we made it that the tools that Wes uses wear down less per action. because he's also he's not Wolfgang. He's not smashing pickaxes into stones and breaking them all fast. So the tools will wear
Yeah.
less, and the resources will be collected slower as well.
Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah.
in the end, he'll get the same amount of wood or rocks or whatever you're mining with your tools. He'll do a couple more actions in between. So he's a little slower at it, but he doesn't consume the tools faster.
Right. Yeah, people are saying in the chat it's 20 instead of 16 for chops on a big tree.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing we don't mention was like Wes's the smaller stomach. He doesn't burn through the calories as much anymore. Obviously, if Wes is going to be chomping down on meaty stews, he's going to waste a lot of calories that could have been spent on making something else. So be optimal about how much food you're feeding Wes, because you don't want to burn calories by maxing out his stomach without actually having any reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's that is the sum of the changes to Wes. Unless there's something I missed, I don't think I missed anything though.
No, I don't. I think that was everything. Yeah.
This update had a bunch of other changes for modders as well. Was it you, Zach, that changed the anim state code to work for to increase the range for the sword offset and the final offset?
No, that was Scott. So you can thank
Oh,
him for
that
that,
was
which is
right. Okay,
very wonderful.
right. Yeah, so there's a bunch of check the patch notes for the modders. There's a bunch of kind of added little things in there that's can be helpful. I think that's.
Actually,
Oh, go ahead.
there is one thing. So it was hidden in spoilers, so you might not have seen it. But if you tame beefalo, there was a bug making beefalo lose domestication 10 times faster than they should have.
Oh, right. Yep.
So if you tame beefalo, it should be a lot easier for you to keep them domesticated afterwards. And also I think I finally found the last of the bugs relating to salt licks and beefalo not always working right. So hopefully it should be easy to throw down a salt lick and not have to worry about your beefalo losing domestication. Hopefully.
I hope so. Yeah, hopefully people will be happy about that. So we're gonna. I guess I'll show off the new skins as well. So there's the new walking cane skin.
Wonderful particle effects.
So this is a case of reused stuff. So for the Year of the Beefalo update, the confetti effect we made for that, this was almost a straight copy of that, and then adjusted to fit with the cane. So I think you and I both worked on that.
I don't think this was ever shown off. You should spawn that beefalo, the confetti for it. There's something special that I don't think many people ever caught about that.
Let's see, what was it called? It was confetti effects.
Confetti.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think it's when you win the beefalo event.
You're the beefalo, yeah.
You get a special effect. I'll show it again and zoomed out a bit more. Oh.
So it's got the special property of being shaped like a beefalo.
Yep, that was super
little
cool.
Touch.
Yeah, I think I had originally started on the effect, and then Zach was like, "No, we got to make it better. We can make it look like a beefalo." It's like, oh yeah, that's totally awesome. Actually, there was one thing I forgot to mention with the balloonomancy. I just remembered now. The speeding balloon. If you let go of the balloon and you let it just float up into the sky and you take a look at the map, the balloon will show up on the map for other players to see. So it's sort of like a flare. So it lasts for 10 seconds as it floats up and then I guess pops in the atmosphere. So I guess early game West now has some abilities to find other players and help other players like, here, this is where the base is, or this is where I am, come to me. So it's another one of those things where it's like, doesn't really help Wes, but it helps make Wes a better character for other people. One thing that's actually really fun about the speedy balloon, I think, is when you get hit, you drop it as well. So
yes, that's true.
Here, actually, you can try Super God mode. Okay, it's off now, so you can hit me.
I don't want to risk it.
What?
If I die again, I'm never gonna hear the end of this.
Oh, are you just running
There's
from the
two
horse?
shadow creatures on me.
I'll just come over here.
Yes, they're on you. There's no coming over here.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there we are. I look away for one moment. Oh, that's gonna go in the highlight books for
Yeah.
forever.
All right, let's get you another amulet.
Uh, oh, this is just gonna be very sad the next time I show up on a live stream.
Oh yeah, people are gonna ask us about the other
Gonna
skins.
get made fun of for 10 minutes straight.
The top hat skin. Let's take a look here. The Fool's Hat. There we go. So it just works great with the West skin. It kind of completes the outfit.
Yeah.
You gotta have it. And then people were saying how they gonna love. Oh, I dropped my balloon, and then it's gone. But now it's a flare, so people can tell people, or people know where to come. Let me just craft the prestidigitator. It's under here. Oh, where is it? Yep, so you can craft the prestidigitator version. There's the cane. Oh, and then the pan flute. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, and the lazy explorer as well. Pan flute is
Yes.
pan flute is there. The foolish flute. So there you can see it on the ground. Oh, all right. You want to play it?
Here.
Oh,
Wait.
what happened?
Oh no.
There's a bug.
Oh, that's not supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen. Interesting. I wonder what happened there. Huh. That is very strange.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake me up. So did that pan flute skin just not work? So I definitely saw it when it was on the ground, but the animation... Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
We'll fix it afterward.
Yeah. I fixed this bug in the statecraft, but I fixed it on only one of the state 2 statecrafts. That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hot fix coming soon. And the lazy explorer. Let's take a. Actually, here, let me use it, 'cause then it'll show up correctly on my screen. I'm like, I swear it works, guys.
Oh no.
Oh, do you have enough health to wake up? Okay, good.
Ow. Yeah, I do. I had the amulet, so I'm good. And now I stay groggy for a while.
Oh, I think that's one thing we also changed. Wes's grogginess takes longer to wear off as well.
Yeah, so he'll walk around like this for a lot longer.
Yeah. Oh, I already had the cane on me. And then just give me the reskin tool, because I never know how to craft the lazy explorer. Oh, where did it go? There it is. Oh, let's chop you, sweep you. Nope, that's not the one. That's the one I wanted.
This is I was gonna say that's the walking cane.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, I'm doing it wrong. Sorry. I just have to spawn the oh, was it orange staff?
Orange staff should be it.
Oh, what's going on here? Why can't I? Oh, I'm not holding the sweeper anymore. That's not it. There we go.
There we are.
Cool, and then same sort of deal when you tell it.
Like normal.
Yeah, same particle. It's the actual same effect, and the way that effect worked is it only starts throwing out the confetti when you move. So when you attack as well, it'll also throw out confetti. Yeah, there you go, just like that. Or when you teleport, it'll throw a bunch out too. Yeah, is there anything else we've missed? I don't think so. Oh, actually, there is one thing we need. Let's see. Give red cap. I wanted to see if I can give you a red cap, because we weren't sure if I can. Oh.
No, you gotta feed it.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't do it. Oh,
it's just
That's
give.
sad.
Okay. We were talking before, and I was like, I remember last time we were on a stream, I convinced Jason to eat a red cap, and then he died on stream. And then we were thinking, like, well, if we're doing this playing together, can I just feed a red cap to you? But I guess not.
Yeah, it might. I don't remember the code for controlling what can be fed to a person. So, There's actually a question from Laptop the Hyper. How long does it take for a domesticated beef loaded downgrade without any attention? That's a bit complicated. That's not just a simple, there's not a simple number I can give you. But it is like, I think it's after about 10 days, it'll start losing domestication at a really fast rate. And you can expect after that 10-day period where if you haven't rode it or anything, that it'll drop pretty quickly to a 0 after that. So if you leave it alone for probably 15 days, it would probably lose all its domestication.
Galerm's in chat is saying force feed can be enabled. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I guess there's a way in there somewhere, but it's not a feature I typically use, so I'm not super familiar with it. It's one of those things we don't touch it very frequently. It was like, but when we did a bunch of food changes recently, we had to like go in and be like, oh, okay, let's touch this this code that's like 7 years old. That is always a fun time. Yes.
And then the bugs that ensue afterwards.
Yep, that is sort of part of game development with a product that's been around for a long time that we're continuing to work on. Is occasionally we will forget something that impacts something that we haven't touched in ages. Like today, there was a bug with the gates and the fences, which we're working on a fix for. Gates are all rotated wrong, and that was a knock-on bug caused by something else. Yeah, it was a question of which dev is this?
Steps forward, two steps back.
Yeah, I'm Peter, and I'm on the line with Zach, also known as Zarklord, on the forums and kind of in the community.
Yeah.
Question from Maxie. Do you know if you could do invisible Weber Wilson beard skins? I'd really like to see their main skins and not be obstructed by the beard. That is an interesting idea.
Not sure how that would work.
Yeah, so typically
it's an interesting idea, but how would you know if you're going to be able to shave your beard or not? And that's the real problem there.
Yeah, a lot of the issues I was trying to figure out with skins is to make them not affect gameplay at all. And that was the initial concern with these invisible skins of, like if someone's running around and there's nothing in their hand, is that person like, are they a threat? But because it's just tools, we figured we could sort of bend the rules a little bit in this case. Oh, I'm going to super god myself, my god. Let's see if there's any questions. Spider right behind me. What? Where? In my house? Probably. When I first moved into this place, there was a spider in the garage about 6 inches across. It was very scary. Thankfully, I've not seen any more since then, but before the winter, there was quite a few spiders in my office area here. I'm not a fan of spiders, so I don't know if they're talking about in-game or on my webcam, but oh no, he's talking about the spider plushes behind me. That's what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
That makes a lot more sense. There's also a Chester behind me, and behind my head, actually it's above my head, is Deer Clops and the Mandrake. I couldn't quite fit them all in there, but yeah. Yeah, so I think that was it for the stream today. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat real quick. Otherwise, we're going to be shutting it down. Thanks everyone for coming. Hopefully you're enjoying the West update. And definitely go take a look at the West trailer again on YouTube. Take a look for stuff in there because there's all sorts of little bits and pieces in the trailer that I'm sure you guys will want to take a second and third look at. All right, so thanks again for coming, everyone.